Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Another day of interacting with you my lovely viewers. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to share your thoughts on what you think about this video. In today's video, I welcome you to this educational video where we take a look into the fascinating revelations made by Dr. Ivan regarding the true origins of ancient Egypt. Now in this enlightening discussion, Dr. Ivan shares his insights into the historical significance of Egypt and sheds light on how private museums hold a treasure trove of hidden history. So join me as we uncover the overlooked narratives of ancient civilizations and change conventional beliefs about Egypt's heritage. Please note that this video is intended solely for educational purposes. So with that said, let's check out this interesting video, and when I get back, we talk more about this.
So I rushed off to Mexico to meet this strange man, and I went to his chateau, and he'd heard about me because I had written him first and told him what I had done. And we sat in that place, okay? We sat on his steps half the night arguing because he couldn't, you have to show me a hell of a lot of evidence to convince me of something that everybody believes is true history. He says, I said, I have to see these heads. He said, I have a few in my study. I said, that's not good enough. I have to be sure that they are valid, that you are now making this up. He was a little annoyed by that. He wanted to throw me out of the house. But nonetheless, I persisted. You have to prove this to me. I need to see sculptures of these people. He says they're not in the big museums. They don't take chances like that in the big museums. You have to go to private collections. And the next day he started to take me to private collections, and I was utterly stunned. You would be surprised how much history is hidden in private museums. They don't allow these things in the big places. It's just like in Egypt. I am responsible for returning to the modern Egyptians the splinters of the Sphinx's nose and chin which Napoleon's army blew off. A friend of mine, Garland Roberts, an adventurer, he was in England. He went into the British Museum and he found that they had the splinters of the Sphinx's nose and chin. How he did that, but he's a fellow, he's a daredevil. He would risk his life just to prove a point. And I says, you go back there. I'm going to pay your way to Britain. You go back and photograph the damn thing. Pretend you are a, messenger boy, whatever it is. Get a job there. Get the damn thing. And he brought back startling pictures. And I called Sheikh Anta Diop, head of the radiocarbon laboratory in Dakar. He's dead now. He was the leading African scientist. And I got in touch with him and I told him what had happened. And I got in touch with Gamal Abdel Mokhtar, the Arab delegate at UNESCO. Sheikh Anta was at UNESCO too. And I got in touch with, I told Garland Roberts, he has to be on the phone. And we started a conversation with the British Museum. And I started out by saying, sir, we understand and we have hard visual proof that you have the splinters of the Sphinx's nose and chin in your museum. And I have the Arab delegate at UNESCO here and the African delegate, etc. And we'd like to negotiate the return of the splinters of the Sphinx's nose and chin to the Egyptians. Now, okay. Now, Van Sertima, we can't do that. See, most of the things we have in our museums come from all over the world. If we started returning things to this and that country, we'll have no museums. I said, sir, we're not asking you to destroy the museum. This is a specific object. This is a matter of the very gravest importance. I have on the line with me Gamal Abdel Mokhtar, the Arab delegate, Sheikh Anta Diop, the African delegate, myself, Garland Roberts, who has proof that they were the pieces. It's me, he photographed them. And he said, well, we will consider it. Do you know? Sheikh Anta spoke. I had a French translator. Sheikh Anta spoke. I spoke. Garland Roberts spoke. Do you know the Arab delegate? We're returning it to the bloody Arabs, He never said a bloody word. because the Arabs are not Egyptian. Don't make any mistake about that. It's just like we are in this room here. This is America. It would be hard to find a Native American in this room. The world has changed dramatically. There have been half a dozen invasions of Egypt, the Persians, the Greeks, the Syrians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Arabs. That is not Egypt. Egypt is no longer Egyptian. They have not a damn thing to do with the building of the pyramids. We now have hard proof, very hard proof, that Egypt was African when the pyramids were built. There is no question about it. This is not guesswork. This is not theory. We found the skeletons in the ancient graves. We found sculptures, which you'll never see when you go to Egypt. They don't put those things on display. But now we have the hard proof.
Now, Dr. Ivan's assertions regarding the Black origins of ancient Egypt and the suppression of this history are indeed thought-provoking. While mainstream narratives often portray ancient Egyptians as predominantly palm color, archaeological evidence suggests a more diverse population. Genetic studies have revealed that ancient Egyptians exhibited genetic continuity with populations from Northeast Africa, supporting the notion that they were ethnically diverse, with significant African ancestry. Moreover, his mention of the damage inflicted upon ancient artifacts during colonial invasions, such as Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, is historically accurate. Many artifacts and monuments were looted or vandalized during these periods of conquest, leading to the loss of invaluable cultural heritage. The debate surrounding the repatriation of cultural artifacts held in Western museums to their countries of origin is also pertinent. Numerous countries, including Egypt, have called for the return of their looted treasures, arguing for the restoration of their cultural heritage. However, as Dr. Ivan highlighted, resistance from Western institutions often arises, citing concerns about the precedent it would set and the potential impact on museum collections worldwide. Regarding the evidence supporting Egypt's African origins, recent archaeological discoveries and advancements in forensic analysis have provided compelling insights. Studies of ancient skeletal remains and artistic depictions reveal characteristics consistent with African populations, challenging Eurocentric interpretations of Egyptian history. Now, his video underscores the importance of critically examining historical narratives and acknowledging the complexity of ancient civilizations. Recent genetic research has shed light on the ancestry of ancient Egyptians. A 2017 study published in Nature Communications analyzed DNA samples from mummies dating back over 4,000 years. Now, the results indicated genetic continuity between ancient Egyptians and populations from the Near East and Sub-Saharan Africa, suggesting a diverse genetic makeup. Ancient Egyptian art often depicted individuals with varying skin tones, suggesting a diverse population. For example, the famous Narmer palette, dating back to around 3100 BCE, portrays individuals with different skin colors, indicating that ancient Egyptians recognized and represented ethnic diversity. Archaeological excavations have unearthed evidence of ancient trade networks linking Egypt with other African civilizations. Artifacts such as pottery, jewelry, and inscriptions found in Nubia, modern-day Sudan, demonstrate cultural exchange and interaction between Egypt and its African neighbors. Ancient texts, including those from Egypt itself, provide insights into the country's interactions with neighboring regions. For instance, the Kingdom of Kush, located to the south of Egypt, maintained diplomatic relations and engaged in trade with the Egyptian pharaohs. This historical evidence supports the idea of Egypt's African connections. The colonial period saw widespread looting and removal of artifacts from Egypt and other colonized regions. European powers, including France and Britain, took advantage of their military dominance to plunder valuable cultural treasures, which were then displayed in Western museums. In recent years, there has been growing momentum for the repatriation of looted artifacts to their countries of origin. Organizations like the International Council of Museums have developed guidelines for ethical practices in cultural heritage management, encouraging museums to engage in dialogue with source communities, and consider repatriation requests. Now, by examining these diverse sources of evidence, we gain a more nuanced understanding of ancient Egypt's African heritage and the complex dynamics that have shaped its historical narrative. This multidisciplinary approach underscores the importance of integrating archaeological, genetic, and historical data to reconstruct the past accurately. We have finally come to the end of the video. What do you have to say? Share your thoughts in the comment section as well. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.